The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath is one of the most powerful and poignant novels of the 20th century. First published in 1963 under the pseudonym Victoria Lucas, the semi-autobiographical novel delves into themes of mental illness, societal pressure, identity, and the struggle for self-fulfillment. With its raw, introspective prose and emotionally charged narrative, The Bell Jar resonates deeply with readers who have grappled with similar feelings of isolation and despair. Here, we explore the key themes, characters, and plot points that define this remarkable work.
Overview of The Bell Jar.
At its core, The Bell Jar tells the story of Esther Greenwood, a bright and ambitious young woman from the suburbs of Boston, whose aspirations are met with the crushing weight of societal expectations and her internal struggles with depression. Set in the 1950s, the novel examines the pressures placed on women during a time when opportunities were expanding, yet societal roles remained rigidly defined. Esther's journey is one of profound introspection, as she confronts her feelings of inadequacy, her fear of failure, and her wavering sense of self-worth. Throughout the novel, Plath uses rich metaphorical language to depict Esther's descent into mental illness, with the titular bell jar symbolizing her sense of entrapment and suffocation.
Plot summary.
The novel opens with Esther Greenwood spending a summer in New York City, having won a prestigious internship at a fashion magazine. Despite the glamorous setting and opportunities around her, Esther feels disconnected from the vibrant life around her. She begins to question her choices, the people she surrounds herself with, and her future prospects.
Life in New York.
While in New York, Esther is surrounded by the superficial allure of high society, yet she finds herself disillusioned. She struggles to reconcile the expectations placed on her with her own desires. Though she is supposed to be living the dream, working in a prestigious position, experiencing the excitement of the city, Esther is plagued by feelings of inadequacy and alienation.
Returning home.
After her stint in New York, Esther returns home to her mother's house in Massachusetts, where her mental health deteriorates rapidly. She becomes increasingly withdrawn and struggles to find purpose or direction. Esther's inability to gain acceptance to a writing program exacerbates her feelings of failure and hopelessness, and she starts to spiral deeper into depression.
Mental breakdown.
As her mental state worsens, Esther attempts suicide, leading to her hospitalization. She is treated at various psychiatric facilities and undergoes electroconvulsive therapy, ECT. Her experience in these institutions is depicted in a stark, unsettling manner, reflecting Plath's own experiences with depression and institutionalization.
The Bell Jar.
Throughout her treatment, Esther refers to her condition as being trapped under a bell jar, a metaphor for her overwhelming sense of isolation, suffocation, and despair. The bell jar represents her struggle to breathe, to escape her internal thoughts, and to reconnect with the outside world.
Hope and uncertainty.
The novel concludes ambiguously. Esther's mental health shows signs of improvement, and she is set to be released from the hospital. However, the threat of the bell jar descending upon her again looms, leaving readers uncertain about her long-term recovery.
Themes in The Bell Jar.
Sylvia Plath's novel is rich with themes that are still relevant today. Here are a few of the most prominent.
Mental illness and depression.
The novel is often hailed for its unflinching portrayal of mental illness. Esther's depression is depicted in a way that feels both intensely personal and universally relatable. The novel illustrates the internal battle that individuals with mental illness face, as well as the stigma surrounding it, especially during the mid-20th century.
The role of women.
The Bell Jar was published during a time of growing feminist awareness. The novel critiques the limited roles available to women, with Esther feeling suffocated by the societal expectations of becoming a wife and mother. Her internal conflict reflects the broader struggles of women who wanted more out of life, but were restricted by conventional gender roles.
Identity and alienation.
Esther grapples with her identity throughout the novel. She constantly feels like she is wearing a mask, living up to others' expectations rather than her own desires. Her sense of alienation is palpable. She feels disconnected from her friends, her family, and even herself.
Societal expectations and success.
The novel also explores the pressure to succeed. Esther is a high achiever, but her accomplishments bring her little joy. The disconnect between what society deems successful and what truly fulfills Esther underscores the novel's critique of conformist ideals.
Character analysis. Esther Greenwood.
As the novel's protagonist, Esther is a complex and introspective character. Her struggle with mental illness is central to the story, and Plath's vivid portrayal of Esther's inner life allows readers to empathize with her plight. She is highly intelligent and driven, yet she feels increasingly detached from the expectations placed on her by society and herself.
Buddy Willard.
Buddy is Esther's on-again, off-again boyfriend and represents the kind of conventional life that she is expected to pursue. He is a medical student and comes across as confident and self-assured. However, Esther is critical of his hypocrisy and narrow-minded views on women's roles in society.
Mrs. Greenwood.
Esther's mother is a well-meaning but unsympathetic figure in the novel. She represents the societal expectations that Esther struggles to escape. Mrs. Greenwood pressures Esther to conform to traditional gender roles, exacerbating her feelings of inadequacy.
Dr. Nolan.
Esther's psychiatrist, Dr. Nolan, is one of the few figures in the novel who provides genuine support and understanding. She helps Esther through her recovery and serves as a counterpoint to the often harsh and clinical treatment Esther receives elsewhere.
Symbolism in the bell jar.
Plath's use of symbolism is a defining feature of the bell jar. The most prominent symbol, the bell jar itself, encapsulates Esther's experience of depression. The imagery of being trapped under glass, unable to breathe or escape, vividly conveys the suffocating nature of her mental illness. Additionally, the fig tree metaphor is crucial to understanding Esther's feelings of paralysis in the face of life's choices. She imagines her life as a fig tree, with each branch representing a different possible future: career, marriage, adventure. The pressure to choose the right path paralyzes her, and she watches the figs wither and die, symbolizing the loss of these opportunities. The bell jar has had a profound impact on literature and culture. It is often seen as a feminist classic and is studied widely in schools for its unflinching exploration of mental illness, gender roles, and personal identity. The novel resonates with readers of all ages, particularly young women, who see themselves reflected in Esther's struggles. Moreover, the bell jar is closely tied to Sylvia Plath's own life. Plath's own battle with depression and her eventual suicide give the novel an added layer of poignancy and tragedy. T remains one of the most compelling accounts of mental illness in literature, and its themes continue to resonate with readers today. The Bell Jar is not just a novel, it is a haunting exploration of the human condition. It reveals the fragility of identity and the profound impact of societal pressures on mental health. Through Esther Greenwood's story, Sylvia Plath provides a voice to those struggling in silence, making The Bell Jar an enduring and essential work of literature.